Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Three Crones and the Woo Woo. Glad to see you today, all of you out there. My name is Gayle Nicholson with Creative Command Coaching and Consulting. To my side, I have Miss Krista Ducharme with Dimensional Healing with Krista on Facebook. And as always, supporting us from below is Damaris Samolinski with Ask the Genie with Damaris Samolinski. Hi, ladies. How's everything going out there?
It's going.
It is. It's going. We just rolled in from being away, so we're all. You'll probably see Kevin flying in and out.
A resident jet setter, which she doesn't use a broom; she flies.
I do. I fly. Although I'll tell you, on Ryanair, sometimes you might think, "Hey, it is a really efficient way to fly." Ryanair over here in Europe. They are so efficient. I highly recommend them. Oh, I loved it.
I saw a Facebook meme this past week that I almost put in the group, and I'm like, maybe a little borderline. And it was an icon of a witch on a broom, and it says,
awesome.
without undies, you get a better grip.
Ooh, I like that.
And I'm like, oh, that really fits with our underwear check.
It really does. We need to do one of those later. We don't have enough people on right now to do an underwear check.
Definitely.
But we need to do an underwear check today.
Yes.
You should post it, Gail.
Yes, I should. Hi, Adam. Oh my gosh, Adam's name popped up. He finally registered with StreamYard. Thank you, Adam.
Yay! So funny because I'm gonna talk about his name today.
Oh,
awesome.
He may want to hang on to that.
That's right, Adam.
And Ada is already here as well. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. If you're watching on Facebook, give us a like, give us a heart, make a comment, let us know that you're here. We really, really appreciate it. Adam's like, should I be worried? No, not at all. It'll be
with
fine.
us.
It'll be fine.
With us? No, come on, y'all. You never should be worried with us.
Well, I'm not going to talk about Adam. I'm going to talk about the name Adam.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you can. Oh, Allison's joining us. Hi, Allison. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. We love that people are starting to watch us on YouTube and getting our numbers up there. We love that, and Adam, we love you too very much. All right. So I know that weather alert. Damaris and I have been swimming for the last couple of days.
Yes.
Off and on showers and stuff. How's the temperature roller coaster doing for you?
Okay, so for us, I started my day in Krakow, Poland, and it was lovely there. Actually, it's a little warm. For the high today, it was going to be 26 Celsius, which it translates to about 84 in Fahrenheit.
Pretty warm.
And so our only dilemma is, for us, it's great weather. However, when you live in an area where that is our high temperature that we don't see until, that July timeframe, we don't always pack for that. So we arrived back here from Krakow, Poland. We arrived in Belgium to gray overcast and a shower just ending. Then we drive here to the Netherlands to where the house is, the home front, which is wonderful, gray overcast and showering.
So you went through a lot of different weather changes.
We have gone through three very different weather fronts. Today alone, actually, I'm looking out the window as we speak, and it is raining still.
Wow. There was one time that I was visiting Michigan and I came back to Arizona. And when I got on the plane in Michigan, it was like 50 degrees. And when I landed in Arizona, it was 118 Fahrenheit.
Oh my
God. I'd want to get back on the plane.
It was,
oh my gosh.
And it was one of those highest, temperature ever days, whatever. Oh, see, Adam's getting kind of the same thing, humid in England.
Yeah.
Adam, honestly, I'm kind of glad that it has not rained because of the Queen's Jubilee over the weekend. But I hope you get some now.
Yeah.
I hope you get some now. Anyways, so that's freaking awesome. I love that you've been traveling and seeing all of these other places. How is New York, Damaris?
The weather today is like fluctuating. It's sunny, then it's cloudy, then it's windy, then it's just like unstable, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You don't know
stuff.
how to dress. Like I took a sweater with me in case I needed it, like I stepped out before.
Yeah.
Because, it may get too windy or you might have to take it off. It's just crazy.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, layering in the Midwest and Northeast is not just winter wear.
Yeah.
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 I went someplace yesterday and I take a sweater everywhere I go anyway because I'm just so sensitive to temperature and more than temperature, breeze. If there's even the slightest breeze, I get cold really quickly. And literally it was like muggy getting out of the vehicle, and then I'd go into the store and they've got their air conditioning going and it's like, is this necessary?
I know.
I think you're overcompensating here a little bit. Anyways, it's it's going to be a great week, I think, for us. Everything everything that I've seen recently is like all of this retrograde and all, the squaring and all that kind of stuff has kind of like the parade has passed by, and now we've got this open area in the skies. Just a little bit of Saturn retrograde.
I'm going to talk about that a little bit.
So I am actually feeling a lot more relief for myself. How about you guys?
I'm like this, up and down.
Yeah.
I want to say I'm a little bit more like Damaris as well. I can say that in the last few days, I've probably got so we stayed at the plushest hotels I've stayed at in a very, very, very long time. It was an amazing hotel. Usually we Airbnb and we do a variety of other things, but we got such a deal on this place. And so, I mean, every, first class amenity that you could possibly want, need, or desire at your fingertips. However, I received probably some of the worst sleep ever.
Really?
So, yeah. And I know that it was an energetic thing because I would wake up at these obscure times in the morning. And one morning I woke up and I didn't want to disturb Kevin. Oh, I'm sorry. My cat just fell in a box. It's kind of
Is he okay?
Yeah, she's fine. She's climbing out now. So I didn't want to disturb Kevin because he was asleep. So I went into the bathroom, which, floors. And I go and I sit down. It's a big bathroom, not a little bathroom. It's a big bathroom. And I sat down on the floor because it was heated. And I just sat there so I could be quiet and not disturb him because I'm like, I'm awake.
Usually I read if that happens to me, like I'll pick up a book and then I'll just read.
Yeah. Well, I played Mahjong. I don't know if you guys play Mahjong or know Mahjong tiles.
I know what it is.
I actually played the real game Mahjong.
Okay.
But on my phone, I play the match tile Mahjong. So I sat and I played that because it didn't make noise. I didn't want to make noise to disturb him. But so energetically, it's been, for me personally, it's been a roller coaster. It's been a big too.
I've been doing that, waking up in the middle of the night. I've been waking up a couple of nights it was around 2:30, but consistently waking up between 4:20 and 4:30 in the morning, which is a half an hour before the alarm gets off. So I'm a little pissed about that.
I can imagine.
Who are you picked that, Gayle?
Right.
But so do you write?
What?
So do you write during? So I'm getting that you're supposed to be writing.
Am I?
Yeah.
Well, that's good to
Journaling.
know. It'd be nice if my guides told me that.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they do, but we don't.
know.
No,
You know
I'm
how
just
they
getting
work.
codes. I'm just getting downloads. Are you guys familiar with the Schumann resonance? I know I
Yeah.
sent you a couple of
Yeah,
screenshots.
yeah. I
Right.
mean, I don't understand it all. I'm still getting
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
don't
I get.
necessarily
I mean,
understand it either, but I
yeah,
do know that when I see those grids, I'm when it's red, it's like CME. It's
Yeah.
like blast from the coronal mass ejections. So we might get screws up in the technology and that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Anything, radar, that type of thing. And then when it gets flushed out white, that's spiritual download.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
incoming codes. That's upgrading, and I've been getting a lot of that myself.
yeah,
Me
Um,
too.
and it's yeah.
yeah.
Oh, here's a really good question from Adam. Let's take a look at this. Pink Moon and spiritual number 666. Do you think it has had an impact on ourselves, especially sleep patterns? No,
Ooh.
I don't.
I don't know. I mean, the 666 is a portal, which we had it yesterday, but it'll
Yeah.
last till the 11th.
And that was a beautiful day. I mean, the energy yesterday I thought was beautiful.
It's still
Yes.
going to go on though till the
Yeah.
11th. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really a beautiful portal. Beautiful. I'll talk about it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't I agree with you too. I don't think that the 666 portal really has anything to do with the sleep
No.
patterns so much.
No.
But it definitely lifted energy. Yeah, yesterday was very, very, very nice for me.
Yeah.
It was
Anyway,
beautiful.
yeah. So, all right. So, let's get started. Damaris, you ready to go?
Yep.
I can't wait to hear all that you have to tell us about
Oh,
this
yeah,
week.
me too.
Big time.
All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the portal because it's important. It happened yesterday, but it's going on till the 11th, like I said. So usually the number 6, if you think about it, is all about love, harmony, peace, unity. So, and it's also related to Venus. So it's like a triple Venus energy. And so it's the highest level of love is Venus, at its highest level. So, we have to open ourselves up to sending out love and sending out peace. And we spoke about this before. The peace starts within ourselves first. And then once it starts within you, then it will radiate inside your home and then, further out. And so, I've been working on that myself, like being at peace. And what does being at peace really means? It means like not being bothered by the nuisances of life. It's just, allowing it to be and not reacting to it. Because then if we react, then we're not at peace and then we create chaos.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And we have to become the observer, really. The observer just means you see what's going on and you see how you play a role into it and just watch it and learn from whatever is happening instead of being reactive. Every reaction has a consequence. And so the consequence could be good or bad depending on the reaction. Mm-hmm. And so with everything that's happening in the world, right, it's like we could be reacting a lot to different things that are happening. And so that reaction will have a side effect later. And I stay away from the media, like mainstream media. I see what's happening in the world with, social media on Facebook or stuff like that. Or just by the numbers, right? By the planets and the numbers, because they tell us everything. And so this portal, this gateway portal is really where you're surrendering. We spoke about that before, surrendering, let go of the ego and let God in, be the observer and allow your life to just, process the way it's going and send out love and peace and harmony. And hopefully one day we will see love, peace, and harmony in the world. I was going to talk about a little bit too with this energetic portal. 15% of humanity is awake. 85% is not. And the reason why is because it's not just about awakening. It's also about unity. And as you can see, the divide in the world And this is why we're not really awakening, because there's so much division and there's so much separation that we cannot awaken. And so this portal gives us the ability to first start with ourselves, right? Sometimes within ourselves, we're separate. A spiritual divorce is when your mind and heart are separated. They're not aligned. Your heart is telling you one thing and your mind is telling you another. So it really has to start with the self. How do we not have a spiritual divorce? Is aligning our minds and our hearts together. And also, a spiritual divorce can be looked at as the feminine energy and the masculine energy not also being aligned, the yin and the yang. So it starts with us. Like I said before, the masculine energy is really not about gender, either one. One of them is the action taker. The other one is the receptive energy. So we receive messages, like Gayle was talking about her spiritual guides, and you were giving her a message, about the sleep patterns that she's having, to journal. So it's about allowing ourselves to be in that receptive mode. And then based on that reception, that based on that message, then take the action, which is the masculine energy, which is the number one, which I'll talk about. But so this energy, this portal that's going on between now and the 11th is really about us becoming aligned within ourselves with the masculine and the feminine energy and the mind and the heart. So if your mind tells you one thing and your heart another, there's an issue right there. So it starts with us. And if everybody was to do that, it would accelerate the process really fast, and we would come into that unity and that alignment. And then the world can wake up, because only 15% of the world is awake. And so that's what we want. Once the world is awake, then we can get into our spiritual gifts, and we can start living our purpose. Because even though we think we're living our purpose, we're like, we're so huge, we're so vast, and really we're just looking at this much of ourselves compared to what we're capable of doing. And so, do you guys have any comments on that before I go to the number? No?
I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it.
You're not feeling what?
I'm just not feeling it. It just I don't even know really what to say about it. It just 15% of the world is woke up and 85% of the world isn't woke up. And where I go with that is we have no fucking hope. We have no fucking hope. Because the powers that be,
I mean, if you look at the world and the way it is, and the separation and the division, you can tell that there is, a lot of people that are not unified, right?
But we've been like that. So for me, we've been like that for millennial. That in my essence, that isn't what I'm like connecting with. For me, as much as I'm not going to put it as, no hope, or because it's all about choice. Ultimately it's about choice. It's choosing to live your life with consciousness, and choosing to live your life from a place of intention, or it's choosing to be a sheep and be herded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and forgive me. And mind you, and I'm going to qualify this. I right now, emotionally, I'm in a space of there's no hope. Nothing that I do works. It's not reality. It's an emotional space that I'm in. Right.
Yeah.
So when I hear that, it's like, there's just no way. There is no way that human beings, educated the way that they are educated in this world, socialized the way that they are socialized in this world, it's only the rare few that are going to go,
50%.
Oh, I want to take responsibility for my choices. The rest of them are just going to be, give me the Funyuns, goddammit.
Well, that's really why the planet is going through a near-death experience, because sometimes people need to go through that near-death experience to actually get that jolt.
Yeah.
and realize, what's really important, right?
Yeah.
But I want to talk about Saturn too before I go
Okay.
to the number. So Saturn is in retrograde till October, and it really, and I'm just gonna go with what you were saying, Gayle, where you were saying that almost like you feel like you're not where you should be, sort of, in this moment in your life, right? But that also could be that Saturn energy taking you back to realize what missed opportunities maybe, or where you went wrong, what mistakes you made that you can learn from. We're all going through that. It's each of us individually and collectively are going through that. And so we have to, in order not to repeat our lessons, we definitely have to look back, not dwell in the past, but look at the past and see what choices we could have made different. Because we all have to learn lessons, but sometimes we learn more lessons than we need to because we just keep repeating them. Mm-hmm. And so that energy is also going to bring back things that happen since this whole thing started, since the shutdown began. We're gonna go back into
except I'm the one who...
some revelations from when this all began, and that's all gonna come out between now and October. So a lot of things are gonna be come to the forefront and be revealed, whether it's good or not. It's going to be revealed. And so from now till October, we're going to have those things, so that we ourselves can look at it and say, wow, we need to really trust our own gut instincts, I feel, in my opinion, and instead of listening to everything you hear. You know what I mean? And so that's where that energy is coming from, where we're going to look at everything from 2020 till this point, till October, and see what surfaces. So all of us individually and collectively are going to have to learn the lessons through that period of time. The number one, which is the masculine energy. If you think about Adam was the first male masculine energy on the planet, right? So Adam equals a 10, which is a 1. That energy also is an energy of, the spirit at its lowest vibration is matter, and matter at its highest vibration is spirit. So that's where we have the I am, right? The number one is the I am present. So when we descend into matter from spirit, we have to sort of find our, original identity, because we forget. In the Jewish religion, they say that we're all knowing and we're born and we forget everything, only to spend the rest of our lives remembering who we are. And so that's really when you find your true identity and you step into the I am presence. That's when you really start commanding. That's when you really start sort of like not asking, commanding, which is a different energy. And the name of your business is Command, isn't it?
Creative Command. Yeah, it's all about that I am, and having the power to actually manifest what it is that you say you desire, instead of manifesting things you gotta have to pray to remove, because it's coming from what you've been conditioned into instead of what your soul truly desires.
Exactly. So the command is much stronger than an asking.
Yeah.
Right.
Than a request. Yes.
Definitely. So the I am presence is that number one energy. It's the leader, the pioneer, the trendsetter, right? But you have to find your true identity first. Otherwise, you can't lead anything or anyone. Then once you get to that level of leading, then that double one, which is the 11 master number, becomes I am that I am. And so it's a beautiful energy, but we all have to step into that command and, just command. I always say, and this is just me, I always say that God is a facilitator. God facilitates what you order, what you command. It's almost like when you place an order on Amazon and you just wait for it. You're not, checking where is the truck, you just wait for the order to show up at your door. And so that's a command. And so we have to step into that role. And that's the masculine energy. A lot of us, right, women are not in the masculine energy. And a lot of men are also not in their masculine energy, and vice versa. So there goes again the yin and the yang that needs to be in alignment in order for us to fulfill that purpose. Again, with the heart and the mind, like I was saying earlier, if the heart and the mind are not aligned, how can we fulfill the purpose? And so it just goes hand in hand. The number one with the the portal that's opening.
Now, I don't want to be argumentative because I am in a weird space, and I
Sure.
want to be responsible for that.
I'm not
But
going to take it personal.
I'm confused in that, you know, today's energy is all about the masculine, the taking action. You'll see, you know, with Krista's crystal, with the card that showed up today, all of that. It's all about that masculine energy, and we need to be more in our masculine energy. But I've been working on removing my blocks to receiving, and it's not fucking working. Okay. So I'm like, but I've been doing the actions. I've been, you know, I've been giving. I've been, you know, opening my heart, even when I just want to like kind of thing. And none of it's working.
You're so funny. So what about Saturn? What's Saturn in this equation? Let's bring it in, right? Because Saturn is in retrograde, and each of us collectively and individually are learning our lessons that we didn't learn in the past. Again, when there's fear, we're not going to step into who we are either. You know, a lot of the times, you know, for me, I could only speak for myself. You know, sometimes I'm like, I don't think I can do that. Like if I look at you and you have this gift and I'm like, I don't think I can do what Gayle does. You know what I'm saying? Right there is a denial of my own self. And so when we're here, we're not seeing ourselves as grand as we are. How can it work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or if we compare ourselves, because also the comparison is not good either. When we compare ourselves to someone that maybe, you know, living their fullest life or, you know, doing really great, that comparison says they're better than you. And nobody is. It's just that we have to stand into that power and then, you know, do our own thing, because not everybody has their, you know, the same gifts, or they display it differently. And so it's not about comparisons. That, you know, I try not to compare myself to anybody, because I'm just like, wow, you know, they're in their power, and that's amazing. That means I can get into mine too, you know?
Yeah. Thankfully, comparison really isn't the issue for me. For the most part, I think if anything is the issue, it's the insecurity.
Within yourself?
Inside of myself and in my environment.
Okay.
Because it's like you create this vision of what it is that you want to do, right? And that it unravels over time. So if you're constantly questioning, am I gonna be in this space in a week? Am I going to be, you know, can I actually extend roots to do these things? Then what gets sent out to the universe is, today I am, today I'm not, today I am, today I'm not, today I am, today I'm not. And the universe is going, look, bitch, don't play tug of war. Fuck you. Let me know when you've got your shit together, and I'll give you whatever you ask for.
You're so funny, Gayle.
So, as somebody whose roots change all the time, have you ever heard the song "I've Got No Roots"? Look it up. It's an amazing song.
Okay.
As somebody who I would consider myself a professional rootless person. That's sort of a really weird title, but in any case, one of the things I've learned is that I just throw roots, and I don't want to make myself sound
like a fucking strawberry plant.
I don't want to sound like crabgrass or strawberry. Well, I like the idea of a strawberry plant or even a mint plant.
There you go.
I just make my roots and I grow them. But I try when I visualize. So I do a lot of root work when I do meditations, you know, grounding myself, because I have a tendency, my energy is so high, I really have to work hard at grounding.
Yeah.
So I ground and I visualize my roots. as being something that goes really, really, really deep, but not straight down. I like go down and then I spread out wide, almost like I visualize my roots hugging the globe. So y'all, you're just getting hugs from me, okay? So just know that anytime I'm doing this, y'all are getting hugs from me because I just throw that down. And and I understand what Gayle's kind of saying, because it's like, okay, you're just having one of those days where nothing just is making sense, and you're trying, but yet you're trying to make sense of it all.
Yeah. And it does go back to that Saturn thing, right? Because I'm looking back at all of these times that I have tried so hard and failed in the past. So it's just the same story looking at me in the face.
Yeah, it's Saturn. It's the Saturn energy. And so
why are you going to do to change that?
Well, that's she has to look at her timelines. And she has to go back and look at where she derailed, so to speak, from her path. And so that's how she'll know. But it reminds me of something we spoke about, I think last week or the week before, that affirmation where it says, I'm here now. So where are you now? Michigan?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you are now. So I'm here now. And so that tells you right there not to look at where you could be tomorrow or next week. You're here now. And so from that point, that's where you do whatever you got to do, because you're there now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not working.
Stop trying to plant yourself. You're not dandelion.
And I'm not, it's not like I'm asking to put down roots and plan to be here. I'm not fucking looking to buy a mortgage. Okay. I'm not. Okay. It's more a matter of, is this my lot in life that I just keep trying and failing?
No.
And
wow, all right. So just don't make me have to fly to Michigan to smack you, okay, girl?
I know that Saturn is whipping your butt right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, and I get that, but but here's a really cool thing, because, and you've said this, we've created, the three of us, we've created a support network.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This coven of joy. So you're not alone. Did you have that before?
She's not alone.
Did you have that before?
Yeah, I've had supportive communities before.
You have, but were they the kind that just gonna fly thousands of miles with cast iron pants?
No, you guys are special. I'll give you that. You guys are very special.
So cast iron therapy is something I have no problem issuing.
Just to give you some insight, whoever's in Aquarius right now is not having a good time, because
I'm not.
And I have it in my emotional moon side. So I have an Aquarius moon. And so sometimes my emotions are up and down. That's why I was saying this roller coaster ride. Sometimes I feel like I'm on top of the skies, and sometimes I feel like I'm buried under the ground. And and it's because of that Saturn in Aquarius, it's affecting my emotions. And whoever's in Aquarius,
I gotta ask this. I wondered, sorry, my eyes, as if it wasn't bad enough, allergies are making my right eye leak for no reason.
That happens.
But I think in my particular case, what might be adding to it is I went for my first physical therapy session yesterday from the accident, and the angle at which I made impact, right? It jarred my hips, and the left side of my pelvis, just above that, has been in muscle spasm for a month since the accident. So I told the therapist, I said, you know what? I am very aware of what my body feels like when it's in alignment with it, when it's out of alignment. I told her exactly what was going on. I've been going to chiropractors off and on since I was 8 years old. Both chiropractic and physical therapy have always done wonderful things for me. I've had a couple of car accidents. So she lays me down and she starts feeling along my back, and she's like, yeah, you're right. Your sacral is way out. And it's like, so adding to Saturn and the roller coaster and all of this, I've got this energetic block in my sacral that it's like meditation is useless.
Yeah.
Visualizing roots is useless because there's
Saturn
this
also
block.
rules bones, you know.
Stretching.
It rules the
Yes.
bones. The
You need
structure.
to stretch, my friend.
Yes, I know. I finally got approval from the doctor to start doing yoga and stuff.
You heard, Gayle?
Huh?
Saturn rules bones.
Oh, great. Okay. Tell it to get its shit together and get my sacral back in line. Anyways, I appreciate you ladies so very much. I don't want to make this episode about me. So we're just gonna,
Mwah!
back to this.
You're gonna.
The best commercial.
I know, I do love that little bit of music. I do.
You are so awesome at creating commercials. I love it. It makes me. It makes me smile. Oh, hold on.
If
I was gonna say we have a guest who's been waiting to come on.
Okay.
Hold on. I have somebody who's been waiting in the wings.
Okay. If anybody
Let me
out
see.
there
I'm gonna have to
likes the
adjust.
commercials
Hold
that I do
on.
and would like to have me do something for your show or anything else, let's talk. I can do that. Hi.
Hi, Sue.
Hi, Sue. How are you?
Mwah! Hugs for everybody.
Hugs
It's so
to
good to
you.
see you.
I'm
You
well.
look
How
so
are all
well.
of you? Good. Good.
Awesome.
I just wanted to pop on and say hi. And it's so nice to be here with Krista and with all of you. And I think I'm going to do a special thing for our, pardon me, sorry. You have a commercial on Facebook that we've been buying a lot of nice Baltic amber jewelry, and just a couple of Crystal Queen, was there with us. I think I may get Genevieve to do something for us just for our Woo Crew.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Awesome.
Yes.
But it's good to see you all. I look forward to the day that we can all be in the same place at the same time.
That'll be awesome. That would be so
I agree.
awesome.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, back to
It's
work,
good to
ladies.
see you. I'm so happy to see all the stuff that you've posted so far that you got. I cannot wait to see like the new collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, we found some fabulous treasures. We
really did. We had a good time. All right, Mom's gonna go and unpack.
Back to work.
And we're gonna get back to work, right?
Let's hear about gold.
There you go. Yeah, because I gotta now report on a medal for our crystal.
That's
I know, it's shocking. Metal, gold, being the crystal of the week. Well, and it was kind of funny. I remember when Genevieve pulled this back in December, I looked at her and I was like, gold? Really? Gold? Interesting. However, it is really kind of fitting, including with this whole Saturn energy. And then, okay, so background, Damaris did this thing with our numbers today, which equated to things that were metal. And what was it you found? Where uranium is?
So what I did was I wanted to know what, according to each of our birthdays, just the month and the day, I wanted to know which card represented our birthdays in the playing cards. And
tarot playing cards.
Playing cards, yeah. So what I did was add the numbers of like let's say my card was the 9 of clubs, and that's the 22nd card of that deck. Gayle's was the 32nd card of that deck, and yours was the 38th card of that deck. So when I added everything together, it came to 92. When I looked at the element related to 92, it came to uranium. So that's the element or the metal, if you will, that's the Crones, because it's all of us together.
I love it. I love it. So it's kind of got me thinking. A couple of things got me thinking today, actually. Even before it dawned on me what our crystal of the week was. But as the day happened and I was feeling into the energy, but the gold is very poignant, because gold is all about, when you look at the understanding, it's about knowledge, it's about wisdom. Of course, it's about wealth as well. We hear gold and we think wealth automatically, but wealth is not just about dollars and cents, or euro and cents, or zloty, where I was just at in Poland. That's their currency, is zloty. And it's not just about that. It's also about the wealth that's around us. It's about the wealth that's within our life. And that's kind of where I was getting a sense that we need to fixate, or shift our mindset, if you will. And in the world of spirituality, you'll hear a lot of people talk about a golden light, or golden threads, or golden energy. Well, because that has the highest vibration, the highest hertz vibration. We'll just use vibration. Frequency. Thank you. That's another. I love that word, frequency. Like, I know there's another one, but vibration is what's coming to mind. Sorry, I have to shift my legs.
Vibrational frequency.
Yeah, my cat is leg cramp. I went down 160 some odd flights of stairs yesterday.
Oh my God.
My legs are killing me. So, but I'm not old. My muscles just hurt. I just want you all to know that. Tagline it. That was Genevieve Ducharme. She was telling herself she's not old. Her muscles just hurt. So, it's the same. So, but the frequencies, in what gold represents in the spiritual community is of the higher power. It's of the higher knowledge. Yeah. It's that essential or quintessential representation of the ultimate. That spiritual connection, that spiritual energy. And I was thinking about, I don't know, have you guys ever done like a golden thread or a golden light meditation?
Yeah, in fact, I have one that's a lead magnet for what I do.
Yeah, and it is. And so when you do that, it's about connecting. And it's the connection between, the higher power, whatever your higher power is, your connection also with Mother Earth. And so when you're thinking about the using or the connection of gold as the crystal of the week, it's representative of what's happening today. It's a really good time because we're getting ready to go into summer solstice. And so it's a good time to pause and actually check your connection. What is your connection? What's your connection with you? What's that connection, that wealth line like for you? And like I said, I'm not necessarily equating it to your bank account. I'm equating it to what is around you.
I'm thinking of something when you're talking about gold and uranium and all of that, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about before. What if we saw ourselves as rare commodity? What if we saw ourselves as currency? What would that currency be?
Yeah, exactly. And how would that change our life?
Yeah.
If we actually saw ourselves as a commodity and a currency, or a currency versus maybe a commodity,
or so rare commodity, meaning there's no two people like you or me.
I like that, a rare commodity,
unique, right? Everybody's unique. Right. So we have fingerprints. So if we saw ourselves as a rare commodity or like currency, your ability to create, is, associated with your currency, right? Because that's what our job gives us the earnings, right? So if you were to see yourself that way, maybe it will change things.
Yeah, and that so and from what I'm kind of understanding with this whole Saturn energy, it's about that reflection of how you
Yes.
once saw, right?
Yes.
So ask and as women, we have a tendency not to see our value as greatly as our counterpart, the masculine energy. So what if we were to flip that and Gail's like going ding 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 ding
No,
ding.
I'm going, it's exactly the opposite. Apparently I'm arrogant and I value myself way more than anybody else does.
Well, then you just
And I'm going, what the fuck?
well, then they have
Is that
that's a them issue, not a you issue.
It's not a particular person, it's the rest of the world.
It could be confidence that people misconstrued it as, being bitchy.
Okay, so understand also this, that's a them vibration and you're a you vibration.
What does that mean?
Never shall the two meet.
Yeah.
Because they have to come up here unless you're willing to lower yourself back down. And yeah, no, that hurts too much for me. I can't speak for you personally, but yeah, no, that hurts.
Like I said, it's not an individual they type thing. It's I put ads out, crickets. I do Facebook Lives, crickets. Everybody wants to receive from me, and there's something in the way of me receiving in return. I know my value.
Yeah.
But I can't apparently communicate it in such a way that people agree with that value.
Is it that you or you're
sorry, you're breaking
up?
I'm sorry, I have no clue why I'm breaking up other than it's raining. So I was going to say, is it that it might be that you're just, universe is saying you're in the wrong area. So you're doing Facebook stuff. Maybe it's not Facebook. Maybe you need to be in a different, I don't know. Yeah. I understand what you're saying because I've been there. Yes, very much so.
Anyways, so
Gail, question really quick before you start. How long were you in Arizona before you came back to Michigan?
13 years.
So you came back after 13 years?
Mm-hmm.
It's something you have to revisit then.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
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 It's a cycle.
Yeah.
Let's to revisit something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, madam, it's your turn. Let's find out.
Card.
Okay. You guys are going to get it raw because this is what I'm dealing with right now. This spiritual self-care, right? Because what tends to happen is that when my bank account dips below my money thermostat, are you guys all familiar with what that is? That money thermostat is that level of I've got enough or I've got more than enough. And sometimes when we have our money thermostat at a certain level, more than enough is just as uncomfortable as not enough. And we have to get rid of it, right? To get back to that money thermostat level where we're comfortable, room temperature, if you will, right? So when my thermostat or when my money level gets below my thermostat, just like what happens when a room gets cold, I start to constrict. I start to panic, right? I start to see the end of the world, right? And what I do most of the time, right, is power through it, right? Doesn't always work. Sometimes the planets just shift and it passes and the cycle moves on, right? And then sometimes, and this has happened multiple times in my life, where I'm like, I reach out to somebody and I'm like, I'm freaking out, help, right? And I don't get the response that I think I need, right? The encouraging words, don't worry, you got this, right? Don't worry. Focus on this, focus on this, focus on this. Remember this about yourself, because in my space, I can't see it for myself,
Yeah.
right? And then that request for support doesn't elicit the response that I think I need. So it just makes it worse, right? So then I get into a level of not just being scared, but being angry. All right. So I want to switch into the story about Jesus in the temple and the moneylenders, right? There comes a time, and we don't, especially as women, we don't necessarily want to do this. We don't want to be seen this way or whatever.
Yeah.
But there is a place in life for self-righteous anger. There is a place for tipping the tables in the temple, right? Where you go, you know what? I'm done. I've just had enough. This will not continue. Something's got to shift, right? And for me, I try to avoid that as long as possible, because I want to be seen as good. I want to be seen as kind. I want to be seen as nice, right? I want to be seen as perfect. Oh, she's got it all together. And you know what? Sometimes I just have to have a screaming, glass throwing, smashing, rock pelting moment, right? And it's not necessarily appropriate to do that with somebody else. I mean, they have feelings too.
Yeah.
The things that need to be said in a moment of peak are not necessarily reality or something that you want somebody taking home with them, right? So sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, when you need that spiritual self-care, that spiritual care that is, you might want to get it from somebody else, but it's not appropriate to get it from somebody else. You need to take a page from Judy Collins, I believe it is, that wrote Isn't She Great? Now, I don't know if any of you have seen this movie, Isn't She Great? But it's the story of this woman, Judy Collins. I think it was Judy Collins. The person wrote The Valley of the Dolls. That book back in the 60s was a huge thing, right? In real life, she wanted nothing more than to be a mother. And when she finally gave birth to a beautiful little boy, he was extremely autistic, and she could not even touch him without him screaming. And back in those days, what you did with an infirm child was you sent them away to live in an institution, right? So in the movie about it, and I believe this did happen in real life, she has her husband walk with her through Central Park to this huge tree, which was her God tree. And she had her husband introduce her presence there to God and tell God the tree that she's got a bone to pick with you. And then she goes on a half-hour rant of how angry she is at God for answering her prayer with a little boy that she can't even hug. How rude is that? How mean was that? How crucial is that? And just fucking get it out, right? Because it's that stewing inside of our souls that we have no other place to put, that we need to exorcise in order to unblock that receiving, that flow cycle, right? You can give and give and give until you are completely depleted, right? But if you're holding on to something inside of you that is just a beacon of resistance and rejection and rebellion to everything around you, how could you possibly receive all the gifts that are waiting on the other side of that? Sometimes you gotta pop the pimple, you know? Am I right?
Okay, yeah.
So, and this is what I'm going to be doing this afternoon. I am going to prepare a space for myself, a safe space where I'm far enough away from my neighbors that they won't call the police because they think somebody's getting murdered. You know? And I am going to scream and shout and just completely have a 2-year-old's tantrum at all of the things that I think in my life are in my way and causing me failure, and even just yelling at myself for not doing the things that I knew I should be doing, but chose differently to do something else instead. And you know what? When I'm done with that, that is going to be cleared.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a space for me to become peaceful and rational and commune with my God on what it is that I truly desire and what it is that I need to do to have that actually come into fruition and let go of this cock block in the universe. Right? So that's what there is to talk about today. So if
Wow.
Krista, if you hear me, just
Vulnerable,
smile
I
and
love
wave.
Right?
I'll just smile, I'll wave. I'm like, I was getting ready. I was going to be like, do I need to get popcorn and just sit, listen? Or maybe I'll join you. You see, that's one of those things. So how many of you, question, comment below, how many of you kind of like went, ooh, that's scary, but yet, ooh, that's so intriguing. Maybe I should do the same thing. You know, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Some people,
Because
break.
I know that there are people out there like,
with
ooh.
a punching bag to release all of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
You can go to the ocean and scream all you want.
or axe throwing, that's another one. Or they have this dish place. Have you ever thrown dishes and broken them?
Yeah.
That is amazing, especially if you don't have to clean it up. It's awesome.
You know, and I think this is a really good access, because I think for a lot of us, right, especially us women, right, we are conditioned to suppress the warrior queen. We really are. And we expect that if we just do it right enough, everything will flow properly. When in fact, sometimes it takes that the creative rage that is within us to raise enough energy to actually fracture the container. Right? And to go back all the way to the beginning today, what Damaris was talking about, 15% of us are asleep and 85% of us are, or excuse me, 15% of us are awake and 85% of us are asleep. But when we think about the cumulative collective power of the self-righteous anger of the mother, the queen, the crone, right? That's what's going to wake up the rest of humanity. There is nothing that can stop the cumulative power of creative feminine energy.
Yeah, no, nothing.
Right?
Nothing.
I don't care how masculine you think you are.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I was just thinking as you were speaking, and perhaps 85% are asleep because they haven't really found their own power within, their own, their purpose, their power, their own true identity. You know what I mean? Sometimes we become codependent and we look to someone else. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being that trendsetter, that pioneer, like that, number one energy, which is also ruled by Mars, by the way. And so, we have to switch the energy from aggressive and war to perhaps courage, like that word. I love that word that you have used, courage, and just command.
Yeah. It doesn't mean you're scared, by the way.
No.
Courage.
Scared the whole way through.
Because a lot of people think that, if you're courageous, you have no fear.
No, that's true.
That is so not the case.
As John Panette would say, nay.
Something. Really quick.
It's doing it even though you are scared.
I saw this clip. I don't really watch the news, but I saw this clip of this mom in that school that got, the shooting.
Yeah.
And the mom went literally into harm's way to get her kids.
Mm-hmm.
She obviously was afraid, but the fear didn't stop her from going into that school to take her kids out of those classrooms. You know,
Yeah.
she had 2 kids.
Yeah.
And so that's really what it comes down to. It's like, you know, it gets to a point where no matter what, even if you're fearful, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that's a really kind of a good point, because feminine rage is not destructive.
No.
Feminine
Actually,
rage
no.
is very powerful and very empowering, and it gets the job done, right?
And it's pretty instant. If you
Yeah.
really think about it, we don't when it
You don't
when
really
it
think about
reaches that level, it's like, oh, let us just go and, you know, have our moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. If any of you that are watching have ever done this, put a number 1 in the comments. But have you ever, at any moment, maybe you're at work, maybe you're in a social situation, maybe you're home, you just step into the bathroom, have yourself a cry, and walk out like nothing's wrong? I think we've all done that, you know, and that's, you know, that can be useful as well. But yes,
You know?
so we're talking a lot about masculinity. We're talking about Saturn in retrograde, taking a look back at what has worked, what hasn't worked, taking those actions, that are action being masculine energy, right? But
Yes.
taking those actions from a feminine power source.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's nothing that scares the gonads off men in this world like an angry woman.
Yeah.
They know. They
Yeah.
know.
Oh, hell has no fury.
That's right. That's right.
As a
And
fully formed.
you know, we were talking about the Queen's Jubilee, you know, this past weekend, and I did a Facebook Live talking about, you know, historically speaking, queens are more effective as sovereigns than kings have been,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Queen Elizabeth I, the power of England at that time in the world, you know, Queen Victoria, who seated all of the royal houses of Europe, Queen Elizabeth II.
Yep.
You know, there is so much to be said for queen energy when it's not repressed.
So funny,
Right?
your card is a Queen of Hearts, Gayle.
It is. Yes. Yes. Oh, quickly. Thanks for reminding me about card. Hold on one second.
Yes.
Yes,
Awesome,
we forgot.
awesome.
We got so involved.
Yeah, right? We did. We kind of went off today. So today's card is the Ace of Swords.
Lord.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, you know, again, from Galaxy Tarot, where I get all of the card of the day readings, it's telling us you're very clear-headed today. You know, there really isn't, at least in my world, there's no lack of clarity. There's just rage. And it's a good time to look at the big picture of your life. What do you most deeply value? And are your values reflected in how you spend your time and energy? If not, today's a great day to rearrange your priorities. And, you know, that really just brings it around full circle. That's exactly it. That's what Saturn is telling us. And I want to amplify a little bit about what Krista was telling us about gold. Gold never tarnishes, and it can handle extremes of heat, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, those ones that say that aliens came to our planet before our recorded history, and they, you know, used us as a slave race to mine. What were they mining for? Gold, because you can use it on spaceships and it doesn't break down. Right?
When you decode it too, it's God, an old log, you know, when you take the words from there, an old log, God, also dog. There's dog and God is the same word backwards, you know, that's why they're so loyal. Yeah, but yeah, it's all there. We're God in the embryo too.
Yes, yes. So if you're in a space like me, you know, stick it out with me. Take a look at what you're most frustrated about in your life. What has not worked? Why didn't it work? What can you do differently to have it go more according to plan? And that's not necessarily the exact opposite of what you did before. It's not.
No.
It's not like, oh, going west didn't work, let me turn around and go east. It's not about that.
No.
You know, if your goal is in the northwest quadrant, you know, all you got to do is adjust that navigation 1% and you'll get to the right place.
That's what sailors do.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, are you guiding yourself by the wrong star?
Yeah.
Yep.
You know. All right. So we want to say real quick, congratulations to this week's Woo Woo giveaway winner, Sue Stickney Thompson. Thank you for being a part of 3 Crones in the Woo Woo. All you got to do is reach out to one of us 3 to collect your prize. For those of you who don't know how this works, each week we give away a reading from one of us 3 Crones. For myself, it's either an intuitive tarot reading or an EFT tapping session. For Krista, it's a crystal reading. And for Damaris, it is a numerology or tarot reading. Sorry, a little burp there. So all you got to do is reach out to one of us and let us know. I have an appointment later on today with last week's winner, Jessica Durant.
No, Jasmine.
Jasmine, thank you. I don't know why maybe because my dog's name is Jasmine, I keep calling her Jessica. Anyways, no. So thank you so much for being a part of 3 Crones in the Woo Woo. And we love to have your support and your involvement every week. Thank you so, so very much. All right, let's see here. We have, drum roll, ladies. Drum roll. We have a new member of our Patreon.
Yay!
Thank you, Carolyn Genji Kalalas. Thanks for joining us with Allison and Sue and everybody else. If you would like to become part of our Coven of Joy on Patreon, just visit patreon.com/3 Crones in the Woo Woo. It's only $4 a month. Do you want to add anything, Krista?
No, I'm just going to say we are getting her down. And we now have our own media maven who has decided to help us increase our presence in the world as the 3 Crones, including on Patreon. So more to come. Awesome. I'm very excited. Let's see how this works.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. Thank you, 2 ladies with me for all that you do to make Tuesdays the best day of my week every week. I can't thank you enough. I love you all.
Thank you.
Love you.
All right, everybody. Have a fantastic week. Take care.